So tell us a little bit about the history of R3R racing.
Okay, Round 3 Racing started in 2013. It was actually when I started my racing career. And interestingly, I spent my childhood following my father around in his racing career at the amateur level back in the early 80s into the professional level all the way up to NASCAR in the 90s. And this is sort of the third round of racing for him. You know, he came back and he joined me. We're a father-son team. And I did some sprint racing in SCCA for a few years, as did he. And we wanted something a little different. We wanted to create more of a team aspect. Instead of a sprint race where we're an individual in a car, we wanted a team. We like doing driver changes, we like the endurance aspect of it. And that's when we found Champ Car Endurance Series, and really enjoying it, enjoying the paid drivers who come join us, the guys who start over again. Really enjoy the endurance aspect of it. Teammates who come in to join us at different races, guys who have been with us throughout the entire season. And quite frankly, I enjoy racing with my father. I think that's everybody who sees it really understands the passion that both of us have for racing and the enjoyment of having the family together.
Yeah, that's cool. It's not my dad's been racing back in the 70s and 80s. I followed him into it. So it's pretty good.
I was wanting to do this. This was the site of one of his more embarrassing races. He was maybe 10 or 11 or 12, and we were short a guy to run the dead valve on the refueling rig. So we were sponsored those days by Skoal, the Skoal Bandit car. So the crew puts him in one of our driver's suits, and they stuff papers and rags in his suit. He looked like the Michelin Man. They put him in amongst a bunch of tires, and we're driving into the pit road. You got about 10 feet inside the pit. Marshall reached out and says, "Not so fast, you're out of here." He was so bad. But Road America was, was again a track that holds a lot of memories for us. We won championship in 1994 here with Scott Pruitt. And ironically, I see Bill Riley, who was competing 25 years ago. Bill and I were huddled over the car and we were protecting Tommy Kendall's car from out to figure out exactly how we're going skirting the rules for fuel consumption. I still remember saying to Bill, you're the engineer, you should be able to figure out the volume, length, width, height. And he was a young engineer. We sat down and calculated that there was no way that ATL fuel cell could hold that much fuel. And I won't go into the whole story that was ultimately found. But they forgot to put a flapper valve in their car.
Oh.
They had the big neck, and they were able to carry it up.
Why do you look at me?
And Tommy was disqualified from the win. And I still remember getting back to my mobile phone, calling down at Simpsons, and I got Pruitt on the phone. I said, "So, who are you with?" He says, "I'm standing right next to Kendall." I said, "Well, you can tell Tommy Kendall that you're the 1994 Trans Am champion. He's been disqualified," and that's a true story. And that all happened here. I also tell you just another story. We're figuring out today. 63 years ago, I went to YMCA camp right across the street where Danny Binks, Kendall's a big contributor. And on the camp, I was about 10 years old, and they had a little sign: "Do you want to go shoot bows and arrows today, or do you want to go to a car race?" "I want to go to a car race." They brought us over here in the little camp bus, and we were standing over there by 14 up against the snow fence, watching Maseratis and Ferraris go by. It'd be about 1957. And so really my first experience in road racing was right here at Road America.
Wow.
63 years ago.
You know, Dan Binks and I went to the same school district.
Did you?
Yeah, San Diego.
Awesome.
Yeah. Same years, too. I think we graduated the same year.
Danny's a big supporter
Yeah.
of
I don't know who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him at Petite last week.
Yeah.
Dad!
Yeah.
Scared him. Security.
Well, there's going to be you're going to do a lead in with Mark tomorrow. You're going to interview Mark about the Blackstone Labs. Want to do that?
Say, huh?
This is Buzz.
Oh,
Yeah.
Buzz. Sorry, Buzz. What do you?
Okay.
What do you think? Something like that, but
Yeah.
make it more personal.
Okay.
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 Cut.
Wait a second.
Okay. All right, Buzz. So let's hear from you. Go ahead.
Well, a few years ago, Pennzoil approached us about their grassroots program, and they selected a venue in each of the forms of racing, from drag racing to dirt cars to road racing, and we were very fortunate to be chosen their road racing team. And we looked around, and having done various forms of racing over the years, both professional and amateur, and came across Champ Car. And we started looking at Champ Car, and what more grassroots racing is there in the world than Champ Car? And we've had races this year with over 100 cars entered. And when you really start to think about it in pro racing, which, you know, I had a NASCAR team and a Busch team, there's maybe 20 teams with 40 entrants, or 36, whatever the rule is today. But you know, seeing hundreds of entries over this season is truly amazing. So we are embodying the definition of grassroots racing here at Champ Car.
Absolutely. We have drivers who come to our team, pay to drive in our cars, guys who come just for one weekend, or guys who want to be with us for an entire season. So it's incredibly important that these cars last the entire race. I can't have a car that breaks in the first hour. That driver's probably not going to come back again to race with us. So we need cars that are going to last a long time, and Pennzoil is a huge part of that. After every single race, we perform oil analysis on these engines to determine the wear. The reports have been unbelievable. These 130 plus thousand mile engines are lasting like brand new engines, and we're having zero reliability problems throughout the race. So truly, the proof is in the Pennzoil.
That's the tagline.
All right.
I think
That's actually, that was good.
All right, Brad. So let's talk about Mark here.
Well, Mark is a critical component on this team. Mark Gamora is our partner in Round 3 Racing. He's our crew chief, he's our car builder, he's our car maintainer, he's our strategist, he's our chief cook and bottle washer. And Mark is responsible for keeping these cars maintained and keeping these cars on track for these long Champ Car Endurance Series races.
So Mark, let's talk a little bit about Pennzoil and what you've seen using that product with these cars now.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that we've made sure that we've done after every race is have oil analysis done. We send a sample off to Blackstone Laboratories, and about 2 weeks later I get an analysis report. And I'd say probably the chief feature of that report is the amount of wear metals that are found in the oil during the analysis process. And it's actually been shocking, even for the laboratory, for the clerks and the agents in the laboratory. They've fed back to me that they haven't seen samples of this nature in quite a while, that you know, they can run a sample and they almost feel like they need to run it again because they've made an error, because there's so little wear metal particulate left over in the oil sample. And I'd say that's a testament, you know, to the Pennzoil technology, and the proof is in the Pennzoil.
Yeah, that's excellent. That's excellent. We can definitely cut from
The
there.
only thing I didn't hear us say was the whole thing about made out of natural gas.
Natural gas.
No, you,
I
Oh, the
say
Pure
at the
Plus.
beginning.
Pure Plus.
you did say that.
At the beginning.
Pennzoil with Pure Plus technology.
You did touch on that.
Do that
So-
again. Wait. Do that.
Pennzoil with Pure Plus technology.
Do it a little more enthusiastic.
Ah,
Do that one.
I did it again.
Made from natural gas.
Pennzoil made from natural gas. Pure Plus technology. The proof is in the Pennzoil.
Is that their actual line or is that
That's
some other company?
that's their thing.
That's their thing.
That's their thing.
Okay, all right, good.
Okay.
I just don't
Can
want
hire me?
All right, Brad. So tell us a little bit about the history of R3R Racing.
Okay, well, Round 3 Racing started in 2013. It was actually when I started my racing career. And interestingly, I spent my childhood following my father around in his racing career at the amateur level back in the early 80s into the professional level, all the way up to NASCAR in the 90s. And this is sort of the third round of racing for him. You know, he came back and he's joined me. We're a father-son team. And I did some sprint racing in SCCA for a few years, as did he. And we wanted something a little different. We wanted to create more of a team aspect. And instead of a sprint race where we're an individual in a car, we wanted a team. And we like doing driver changes. We like the endurance aspect of it. And that's when we found Champ Car Endurance Series and really enjoying it, enjoying the paid drivers who come join us, the guys who start over again on that one. Really enjoy the endurance aspect of it and the teammates who come in to join us at different races, guys who have been with us throughout the entire season. And quite frankly, I enjoy racing with my father. And I think that's everybody who sees it really understands the passion that both of us have for racing and the enjoyment of having a family together in racing.
Yeah, that's cool. You and I are in the same place. My dad started racing back in the 70s.
I always wanted to do the
This-
professional stuff with him, but he never let me.
This was a side of one of his more embarrassing racings. You were maybe 10 or 11, 12, and we were short a guy to run the dead valve on the refueling rig. So we were sponsored in those days by Skoal. We were the Skoal Bandit car. So the crew puts him in one of our driver's suits and they stuff papers and rags in his suit. He looked like the Michelin Man. And they put him in amongst a bunch of tires and we're driving into the pit road and you got about 10 feet inside the pit and the marshal reaches out and says, "Not so fast, you're out of here." He was so mad. But Road America is again a track that holds a lot of memories for us. We won a championship in 1994 here with Scott Pruitt. And ironically, when I see Bill Riley over here, who's competing 25 years ago, Bill and I were huddled over the car when they were teching Tommy Kendall's car from Roush to figure out exactly how were they skirting the rules with fuel consumption. I still remember saying to Bill, "You're the engineer. You should be able to figure out volume, length, width, height." And he was a young engineer, but we sat down and calculated that there was no way that ATL fuel cell could hold that much fuel. And I won't go into the whole story that was ultimately found.
Please
but,
do.
But they forgot to put a flapper valve in their car.
Oh.
They had the big neck. They were able to carry an extra couple pounds of fuel. And Tommy was disqualified from the win. And I still remember getting back to my mobile phone, calling down at Simpkins, and I got Pruitt on the phone. I said, "So, who are you with?" He says, "I'm standing right next to Kendall." I said, "Well, you can tell Tommy Kendall that you're the 1994 Trans Am champion. He's been disqualified," and that's a true story. So, and that all happened here at Road America. I also say just another story. We were figuring out today, 63 years ago, I went to YMCA camp right across the street where Danny Binks with with Kendall's a big contributor. And on the camp, I was about 10 years old, and they had a little sign, do you want to go shoot bows and arrows today, or do you want to go to a car race? I said, I want to go to a car race. They brought us over here in the little camp bus. I remember standing over there by 14 up against the snow fence, watching Maseratis and Ferraris go by. It had to be about 1957. And so really my first experience in road racing was right here at Road America 63 years ago.
You know, Dan Bates and I went to the same school district.
Did you?
San
Awesome.
Diego.
Awesome.
Same years too. I think he graduated the same year.
Well, Danny's a big supporter of the camp
I know
across
he
the street.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him at the tee last week.
Yeah.
Scared him. Scared him.
Do we want to say anything about the inexpensive cars that we built, anything like that?
Well, you're gonna do a lead-in with Mark Gamora. You're gonna interview Mark about the Blackstone Labs.
You wanna do
Yeah,
that?
we need to talk tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
Do you want to?
We did touch on the whole you're renting seats out to
Right.
people. We did cover that, right?
Yeah.
I think we kind of got to that.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had pro drivers with us. We had a world Formula 3 champion
Yeah.
at Indy, Dan Clark. We've had Josh Billicky, who's NASCAR driver, drove here with us, and Johan Schwartz has driven with us.
Johan's kind of a
Yeah.
has-been.
Yeah, he's a has-been.
Has-been.
But do you want us to introduce?
Drifting though.
Yeah, he does.
Do you want us to introduce Mark, or do
Yeah.
you want to?
Let's get Mark.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to introduce him, that's fine.
Okay.
Where's Mark?
Let me get
That sound all right so far, Bill?
Huh?
Sound all right so far?
Is it good?
What do you think, Paul? You good?
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah, this is
Yeah, we'll
really
mix it. It's only going to be like 30 seconds long.
Right. Yeah.
You know, my name is Brad,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah. You know.
And it will have some really loud playing, really great rock and roll music from the
too loud to hear
from the
anybody actually
80s.
talking.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
I think we introduced Mark, as
We're going to make it good.
the critical component of this whole team. The guy
Sure.
who builds the cars, the guy who maintains the cars, the guy who calls all the shots on the track.
guy.
Yeah.
And I think the important thing for you to say, because this is about Pennzoil,
Yeah.
is talk about the Blackstone Lab report.
Yeah,
that you sent
certainly.
And the data we're getting back.
Yeah.
And then the
Okay.
tagline at the end.
We'll have
I dropped
them
it once.
Yeah. Here.
So the proof.
I can get out.
Sure.
Why don't you stand over here?
Yeah. I need a background.
We're going to clear the Pennzoil logo so we can get that.
Okay.
Yeah, but don't make it look like you're clearing.
Does everybody see this?
Yes.
So what kind of lead-in would you like for this?
Do we photobomb this thing? Do we walk in behind like?
I can do something real quick. I can say the critical component of this whole team is Mark Gamora. The guy who runs our crew, who built the cars, who maintains the cars.
There's everybody wearing black. It really just
Yeah.
white color.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's too much. What do you think? Mark, you built these cars.
So is he your chief mechanic then? Is that his role?
He's the team manager, the crew chief.
Remember, you gotta hold it up to him. Okay.
Yeah, I'll hold it up to him when we go.
Try
to
it now.
So,
Just do a demo.
so I'll just have it like this. And you can.
Do you want to mic him up or?
We could. Yeah, we can mic
Are you
him
done?
up
You're
real
done with
quick.
me.
I think so.
Sure.
Pretty good for
Yeah,
being
yeah.
56.
Oh yeah, it was once.
I'm there right now. It feels really bad, by the way.
Oh, there she is.
So you want to go ahead and do a lead-in? And,
Just go ahead and pull.
One critical component.
You're still.
One critical component.
There you go.
Cool. On our team is Mark Gamora.
here we go. He's gonna.
Oh, I'm mic'd
you're
up.
gonna mic him. Okay.
Okay.
Didn't mean to grab your nuts.
Wow. Hey, is that free?
Well, you know, it's part of my job. Comes with the. There you go. Stick it right.
All right.
Have you signed my hat too, Mark? Pretty good for being
Yeah,
what,
yeah.
56?
Oh yeah, it was once.
I'm there right now. It feels really bad.
Okay. All right. So you want to go ahead and do a lead-in? Sure. And,
One critical component. One critical component on our team, actually the most most critical component on our team is Mark Mora.
Oh, you're gonna mic.
Well, you know, part of my job.
Can I get your autograph? You signed my hat. Sign it. Can you sign my hat too, Mark?
All right.
Brad, so let's talk about Mark here.
Well, Mark is a critical component on this team. Mark Mora is our partner in Round 3 racing. He's our crew chief. He's our car builder. He's our car maintainer. He's our strategist. He's our chief cook and bottle washer. And Mark is responsible for keeping these cars maintained and keeping these cars on track for these long change car endurance races.
So Mark, let's talk a little bit about Pennzoil and what you've seen using that product with these cars.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that we've made sure that we've done after every race is have oil analysis done. We send a sample off to Blackstone Laboratories, and about 2 weeks later I get an analysis report. And I'd say probably the chief feature of that report is the amount of wear metals that are found in the oil during the analysis process. And it's actually been shocking, even for the laboratory, for the clerks and the agents in the laboratory. They've fed back to me that they haven't seen samples of this nature in quite a while. That they can run a sample and they almost feel like they need to run it again because they've made an error because there's so little wear metal left over in the oil sample. And I'd say that's a testament, to the Pennzoil technology.
That's excellent.
It's awesome. The only thing I didn't hear say was natural gas. I said it at the beginning.
He did say at the beginning.
At the beginning, I said
Pennzoil with Pure Plus technology.
Do that again. wait. Do that.
Pennzoil with Pure Plus technology.
Do it a little more enthusiasm like you did that one time. Do it again.
Made from natural gas.
Pennzoil made from natural gas. Pure Plus technology. The proof is in the Pennzoil.
Is that their actual line or is that some other company?
That's their thing.
Okay. That's what it says on the box? Okay, all right, good. I just don't want to. That's a Quaker State statement. Well, funny because I used to live in Bradford. I worked for Whitco, which is Kendall and Emily. Same oil, same factory, same engineers. And then Quaker State and Kendall, or Quaker State and Pennzoil were kind of the same wells in the same area over on the other side of Rue, Pennsylvania. So, which is, all my friends worked for the different
Kind
companies.
of come from the same place.